Hey everybody, Gary with Basecamp Trading. Let's take a look at just some simple uh, Renko chart setups that we had today. This is crude oil, and crude oil made a big push up in the overnight, and then it got extended, and then we triggered this trend reversal breakout right here. And you could see that crude was making higher highs, higher lows, higher high, and then we put in a pivot right here. Now it's not a lower pivot low, the previous pivot low is back here. And then we put in a lower pivot high right there. We broke underneath this pivot, and that changed the trend from an uptrend to a downtrend. We now have a pivot, a lower pivot high, and wherever the next pivot is, it's going to be a lower pivot low. So the trend is now down. We like these trades that we have a trend reversal breakout, we break out of the cloud, and then we pull back into our moving averages. And all of our moving averages are now in alignment. The 18 EMA is under the 34 EMA, under the 50 SMA, under the smooth 50, and under the cloud with bearish momentum. So this is a nice continuation trade setup for us. And you can see that dark cyan bar is our Trender Pro 2.0 entry signal. And we take this down, and that's good for two targets, so $200 per contract. And again, we're trading two targets. Our first target was 75.51. Our entry was 75.73. So again, we're grabbing $200 per contract potential on this trade. Now, one bar pullback is not enough to stop me out, but let's say you went ahead and stopped out. You got another Trender Pro 2.0 entry signal right here. This entry signal triggered in at 75.51, and our target to the downside was 75.10. So there was another $400 per contract potential that we could have grabbed off of that trade to the downside. And then once again, if you got stopped out, again, a one bar pullback is not enough to stop me out, but let's say you did go ahead and stop out. You had another Trender Pro 2.0 entry signal, and we were able to take that down into our final target. Our final target was 74.92. Our entry was 75.07. So again, potential to grab another $100 per contract here. We were forming bullish divergence at that point. See the lower low, but the higher low on momentum and our VSI indicator. So definitely just take our $100 and call it good on that particular trade. And again, just some simple setups off of our Renko chart. These are our nice wick trades off the moving averages, which are our continuation trades. We like to have everything in alignment, and we catch a nice, really pretty stress-free trade. Now this entry right here pulled back on you a little bit. You at one point in time you were down 3 or 4 ticks, but not anything terrible. All in all, really a pretty stress-free first 200, and all in all, a fairly stress-free 400 on this next run down, and then just a quick, easy 100 on that run down. You can see we had a similar setup in gold. Gold was pushing higher. Same thing. We had a pivot. Wasn't a lower pivot low. Previous pivot low was back here. Put in a lower pivot high. We broke underneath this pivot low, changing the trend to a downtrend. We make the pullback into our moving averages. We get our Trender Pro 2.0 entry signal. Now gold, we trade a larger bar in gold. We actually trade a larger bar. Each tick is, or each bar forms on every 4 ticks to the downside. So on this chart, our first target instead of $100 is $200. So we hit our first $200 target on this entry, get stopped out, get another Trender Pro 2.0 entry signal, wick off the 18, and this was good for two $200 targets or $400 per contract. Same thing, getting some bullish divergence, and we call it good. But another pretty simple, fairly stress-free Renko trade to the downside. Again, could have grabbed $200 per contract here, $400 per contract there. Little bit of a pullback right there, but still never took any heat. We're never negative on that trade at any point in time. So, potential to grab $600 on this trade as well. So all in all, pretty good day. Just trading simple Renko setups.